This is really a Q&A, right? So it's really about y'all. So I look forward to answering as many questions as I can. Just don't ask me what naked girls is on my cell phone and we be good. I mean, really my first question, I mean, it might be a cliche one, it's really what happened to love. You know what I mean? Because so much is going on in the world. And statistically, if you break it down, we got more love than hate. So the idea of what happened to love, ain't nothing happened to love. At the end of the day, you know, the true common man and woman, we really all built, our DNAs are from love.
What's your opinion of the African icons actually not being able to be seen or to be identified by fellow African Americans or Africans in the diaspora? What should be done?
See, I love Fela Kuti. I always feel like we should be paying tribute to our generation. So, for example, in America we have Jean, you know. Now Wyclef Jean's 40-something, so I have records called Fela Kuti. I think it's always important to pay homage, and also for a generation that don't know who Fela Kuti is, to basically go back, listen to the music, and sample the music. So it's always the idea of awareness, like each one teach one.
What do you say to an upcoming singer nowadays?
Well, really, the thing about, you know, singing for me is, you know, when I started out, the first people that I was responsible for breaking was like Lauryn Hill, Beyonce, Destiny Child, like just to name like a few. So my whole career has basically been female singers mostly. I've had a good life and still have a good life. But the key to it is, what I always tell a singer is, if you try to make it in the music industry, it's different. You have to, as a singer, some singers like, I want to be on Broadway. You know, others like, I want to sing opera. You know, some say, I want to be on the radio. So I think that the number one key to an artist is to really be honest with yourself. Like, what is it that you really, really want to do? Because I'm telling you, I didn't want to be famous. Fugees, that's why I was the guy doing all the beats, all the music. You know, I was like, I was going to be famous because I was honest with myself. I wanted to be a great producer, you know, and then from there, other things happen. So I always say honesty is the first thing.
Get some out in the back as well.
All right, baby,
Next one, I'll go there next.
all right, she must be from Brooklyn. We got you, I'm coming, baby, I'm coming.
Hi, I think that, what do you think about the anti-establishment music? How has it changed? Because, for example, if I get to compare The Beast by the Fugees to Christ Tag by Jessie J, it seems like the anti-establishment music or political lyrics have been part of politics now. Like they're within the limits that are accepted.
Well, I mean, really, think about like the time to meet Nelson Mandela, for example. So I got a chance to meet Bob Dylan, you know, like Carlos Santana. So think about like when Santana was playing, the Vietnam War was still like, there was a lot of people that was against the war. So I always feel that the musicians that last are the ones that step up, right? So when you step up, you're out of your comfort zone, right? Because politicians use musicians so they can get elected, then they throw the musicians away. But now it's the reverse. The musician actually has a brain now and understand their power. So I just feel like more musicians just use your voice. What I do is I study the rhythms of different places. So I don't necessarily, so as a producer, you know, for me, it's more like I'm here and I want to learn more about like the culture of, because it's deeper than an artist for me. It's more like, you know, what are the drums? What are the guitars? What are the native instruments of the country, you know? What y'all playing on the mountains, you know? What does the sea sound like? So I look forward to learning about that. And any artists from out here you think I should be listening to, just send them to me on my Twitter. I'll listen to them. What up?
What up? So no, I'm from Switzerland, guys, not even from America.
Switzerland in the building.
I'm a former graffiti artist, so maybe that's why it's so hip-hop.
Big up.
So the big question I guess many of us here will ask you is, why are you here? Like, what's the techie part that interests you? And are you like investing, or are you planning to come up with some technology someday?
I mean, really, that's the best question. So why I'm here. So by trade, I started off as an audio engineer. So when I was doing the Fugees, when I was like 17 years old, the album that you love a lot, the score, I was so advanced tech-wise, I did the entire album in my basement, right? So I basically came up with my own algorithm at the time. I didn't have like there was no Neve board. You know, I was using it when you listen to Killing Me Softly, and it sounds like I'm playing Fender Rhodes keyboard. That's not a keyboard. It's a 440 oscillator tone because I ain't had no money for no keyboard. So I took the tone and I manipulated it back into vibration. So one of the reasons I'm here is because as the future is moving forward, I want to invent what will be the first hip hop guitar. So I'm looking forward to sitting with engineers, talk about coding and different things, you know what I mean? For me, our generation is rich in culture, we're also rich in music. So you know how you have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you have the Rock and Roll Library, you have the Jazz Library. I feel like within hip hop, you know, Dr. Dre does headphones, you know, Wyclef can invent the first hip hop guitar. I want to encourage more kids to learn how to play instruments where we come from. Because my mama, she took a gun out of my hand and put a guitar. So I look forward to talking to different engineers and learning more, and at the same time just connecting. And I did a program with NASA where on the new album, there's a shuttle called Juno. Juno went to Jupiter. We recorded sounds, brought these sounds back to Earth. So also for me as a producer, you know, we look towards native instruments and different things for sonics. So now the next place you can find great sonics is Jupiter. So also tomorrow through a tutorial, I will run you through how you can combine sounds of space and Earth. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So you ain't know I was a nerd, huh? I'm just a sexy one, you did. Yeah. Yeah, what's up, Dread? Give the Dread a microphone, man. Because he be smoking a lot of ganja. Hip-hop is an encrypted language, and it changes with every generation. But the culture is always the base, and the cultures is always going to be a reflection of the community. If the politicians make the communities get better, the language of the music is going to get better. Yeah. Not me. Yeah. I'm feeling like the old President Obama right now. He's been ahead, right? So you can go online and you'll see Drake singing Wyclef. He's only 14 when he's singing Wyclef, right? So I was the weird kid, you feel me? So when I would show up, they'd be like, yo, keep it real. And I'm like, what the hell that mean? You know what I mean? Somebody give me my guitar, give me my bass, give me my saxophone, right? So for me, the adaptation has always been natural because now you're in a generation where the rap tone has turned more into singing tone, right? So that's one way. The other part of it, which I had to learn, was the social media part of it, you know what I mean? So thank God I got a daughter that's 12 years old, right? So we was definitely able to adapt towards, you have to be able to adapt to change, right? For me, it's the best generation because look, I could put an album out called A Carnival. Then I got a mixtape coming out in a week. Shameless plug, baby. It's called Inspired, right? Then a month from now, I could be like, yo, let me go back to my roots and do a jazz record. I think that we're in a great era because with the technology now, all I'm doing is creating legacy music. Embracing the technology and using it in the right way for your platform is incredible. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna ever go back. Everything is gonna keep moving forward, right? So if you're looking for the style of 90s of rap, you could go online. So once again, things don't change, right? So it's an adjustment, right? So within the adjustment, that's what's beautiful about hip hop. You'll be like, yo, I want to listen to lyrics. I can say, okay, well, look at the rap leagues. You will find every bar for bar that you really love. You know what I mean? And if you're looking for what's on the radio, it's on the radio. So I think though, as it moves,
Bed-Stuy, born and raised.
Bed-Stuy, do or die.
Do or die. So it's super inspiring to see you up here right now.
You already know, man.
I got a quick two-part question.
All right, sorry, anyone who heard Bed-Stuy, do or die, and they're like, what kind of coding is these guys talking about? It's just a way of saying like, yo, what's up, what's good, we from the neighborhood. I ain't want them to like get nervous, they heard Bed-Stuy, do or die. Are these guys gonna kill someone now?
That's it. So first part of the question was, how do you feel about mumble rap? What's your opinion on the mumble rap situation right now? And the second more serious question was, what has been the biggest challenge that you faced as a producer, as a creator? And what have you learned from that biggest challenge?
Okay, so first of all, what you consider, what mumble rap is a term, right? Now me, I break everything down scientifically and could debate someone to the ground, right? So, my daughter, right, who's 12, she's the pulse, right? So, I'm from the woodpecker era, right? The woodpecker is the boom bap. We be like, right? Now her bounce is different. Everything is considered to be mumble is melodies. So what happens is this generation is more of a melody-driven generation than a lyric generation, right? I was in the studio with Old Dirty Bastard from Wu-Tang Clan, and trust me, to get a verse out of Old Dirty Bastard is the original mumble rapper. Dog, I could bring it down to you. I remember when I was doing Ghetto Superstar, they was like, yo, you're not gonna get it for man. I went in with Old, he's like, so, you know what I mean? And you gotta take it. So I think the idea of it is there's a swag that's going on, but I think it plays a small portion of it, right? So you gotta be able to, you know what I mean? I think the mistake that people from my era make is when they're trying to come back, they adapt, you know what I'm saying? Could you imagine them coming back and like, nigga, nigga, no. You're like, man, Clef is on crack, you know what I mean? So, the younger generation looks up to you, so you have to adapt. But in a smart way. The second part, as a producer, I've always been eclectic. I'm one of the most eclectic producers in the planet. And I think through hip hop, it allows us to do that. I love a lot of the production that's going on right now. And I think it's only gonna keep getting bigger and bigger, you know what I mean? That's the vibes. I have anyone focuses on coding, like, cause I'm building this hip hop guitar, I'm looking for some very innovative people like that I want to personally get my phone number to, so I'm out here now. Dog, man, listen.
This is a sign that I am the mic, I'm a developer here. This is a sign. I was just about to go and come back to your hip-hop guitar.
Okay, perfect, go ahead.
Yeah. When I was young and we were trying like listening to Wu-Tang and Nas and all that stuff, it wasn't cool playing a guitar, you know? It's not like hip-hop. So how do you think people will get to your hip-hop guitar? Will it be cool? I mean, you're coming from the hood. Will the people in the hood play your guitar? Is it enough to be just Wyclef?
That's a great, so let's start with Black Beatles. You ever heard of Black Beatles? No, right? Exactly. But they're kids. Look at their videos, all guitars, right? I'll even take you a step further. You heard of Nick Cannon? I'm his guitar teacher. You heard of Young Thug? Look on his thing. You heard of Lil Wayne? What do you see they trying to do? Play guitars. The guitar has always been part of hip hop, right? The thing is, remember, because we was in an era where it was like, unless you have a microphone in your hand and a DJ, then it wasn't considered hip hop. But the Fugees came and they changed that. So for example, when you're listening to Mobb Deep, Shook Ones, automatically we think of Prodigy and we think about the spit. So what I'm doing is the same way that someone would want to listen to a rock library, right? You like, yo, where's Pink Floyd or whatever, right? What I'm noticing with this generation, so somebody has to take the leadership and says, you know what? The headphone, as cool as the headphone is, I'm gonna make the guitar as cool as the headphone. For a coder, but you get what I'm saying? There's two parts of the coding though. Then there's the voice activation, that's the second part of it. Because as the future moves, the human gets more lazier. And as they get more lazier, it's almost like they want to turn it on and they go, yo man, play Mobb Deep, man, you know? And then, you know, the app plays it, you know? And you're like, okay man, show me how to play Mobb Deep. And it goes into the ER and shows you the AR, the fingering. So once again, I think like we're 2 years away from that. We'll start off with acoustic guitars that are made by graffiti artists. Level 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 4, iPhone 4. So for me, the end result of it would be the hip hop guitar app where basically, you know, people could go in and be like, you know, play Sugar Hill Gang.